Hi everyone, welcome back to Behind the Eye of Odin. I'm your host Eric, and with me this time is one of my other students, Connor. This is Connor's debut on my channel. This time we're going to talk to you about using runes for personal gain or personal use, including protection, wealth, health, financial issues if you want to use the runes for that. And we may even, depending on how much time we've got, we only have up to 15 minutes, do you believe that? 15 minutes to get to, we may even get to relationships and using the runes to hopefully improve your love life. But as I said, this is Connor. Connor is the group expert, as it were. I don't know if he'd consider himself an expert, but he does use the runes and runic energy a lot more often, especially in tangible, everyday uses than even I do. So I wanted to invite Connor. Connor, welcome behind the Eye of Odin.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Connor, one of the things that a lot of people have issues with or want to use the runes for is protection. Now, one of the ways that I use, and I've explained this in previous videos, one of the ways that I use runes is in my everyday job. Now, I drive for a living, so, you know, being out there on the road can be extraordinarily hazardous. So what I do is I actually take my finger, and since I drive a filthy, filthy truck, I just write in the dirt on my dashboard, I'll put a protection rune of Aiwaz, and then couple that with Ehwaz, which is the horse, and then I will occasionally use Rado as well. Now that's one of the things that I do personally. I just visualize using the runic energy itself and kind of imbuing that into the truck. Excuse me. And you know, I'll kind of visualize and try and, you know, however you see or perceive any sort of energy that comes from the runes or with the runes, I try and put that into the truck and myself on a regular basis. But that's just one of the things I do. What do you do specifically?
When it comes to protection, I put energy and like the actual intention of the specific intention of what I want to be protected from into the room. And you can use.
So do you mean like protection from bullies or malintent, angry emotion?
Yeah, like emotional protection.
So you get really specific about it. Okay.
And you can also use the runes to make items.
Okay, like charms and talismans. Okay. How do you usually do that when you're creating a talisman or a charm?
I make sure there's no electronics because it interferes.
Okay.
And it feels right.
I've had issues with that in the past.
And you use components.
Okay.
Like hair. Sometimes do blood oathing.
Okay, so like for it's like when you're marking your own runes, you want to use either blood, saliva, other bodily fluids. We don't need to get specific.
Yeah.
But to actually lay out the markings and inlay the runes on occasion, if you've carved them yourself, you have to have something to inlay them with, and blood is a really classic, I guess is the word.
It's really traditional.
Yes, it is a traditional thing. So you use, in creating talismans, you use parts of people, say if you had their wisdom teeth after they had been extracted surgically.
Yeah.
You're not going to pull them out yourself.
There's no
hair, nail clippings maybe, eyelashes would probably work really well.
I mainly use hair, tears, and blood, but it's mainly my blood. I don't collect other people's blood.
Yeah, we can get into that in another video. I'm kind of curious how you collect the tears of others.
You get like a beaker.
Okay.
Then you give it to them and say, if you want a charm, I'm gonna need something of yours, and a lot of people are sticklers about, blood and stuff. So so like when they feel emotion, and it has to be like raw emotion. Like it can't just be something that's frustrating them.
No cutting onions.
Yeah, nothing. It has to be raw emotion, and you hold it up and fill it up a little bit, and then they hand it back to me, and I'll make them a talisman, like out of a braid of like any really material. Call them water braids, but they're just braids with, I put studs on the end.
What do you usually make the braids out of?
I've used stuff from nylon to hair.
Okay.
Anything really personal.
But that's mostly for protection.
Yes.
And you know, I'm assuming that you could probably do the same thing for money and romance and all those other things.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's just putting the specific intent into what you're doing.
Right. So what are some of the things that you do to make yourself, or to help along your health? I don't know if you're going to be terribly upset with me telling people that you have issues, but Connor does have quite a few health issues. They've been relatively prevalent through the majority of his adolescence and childhood. But I know that you use runes to help with your health. I know that it's kind of a secondary to going to the doctor, but I know that you use them. Tell everybody what you do for yourself when you're having issues, and some specifics about what you use.
Well, when it comes to my intestinal tract, I use urus and put in the specific intention of stability.
Okay.
To stop dysentery and all that stuff.
Okay.
It happens a lot. People with UC and Crohn's, they go like up to 12 times a day.
Okay.
But just for stability, and actually it does help. And then well, when it comes to like my knees, I need flexibility in them, and I have joint problems like patellofemoral disorder and arthritis and stuff like that.
Sure.
And CIDP, which is chronic inflammatory dilapidated polyneuropathy.
Okay.
It's a mouthful. That's why it's called CIDP. But it's,
So what do you do for it?
I put lagus, and I put lagus on my right knee usually for flow, and
Okay.
And it is from my understanding and how I use it, it is a healing root.
Okay.
And
water is a healing element.
Yeah. And then this one I put
on your left knee.
On my left knee I put flexible defense. The name of the rune escapes me.
That would be Iwas.
Iwas, thank you. Yes, I put Iwas on my left knee because it does have more problems. But
that is the Yggdrasil, the World Tree rune for anybody who's keeping score at home. And
I do that, and I mainly bind runes on my stomach for multiple problems.
Okay, so basically it's bind runes, and you draw on yourself and occasionally make charms. Well, let's talk a little bit. I was hoping we'd be able to get to it. Let's talk a little bit about romance. Now, I personally have, and this is the disclaimer for the video, I personally have no use, and I find it morally reprehensible to use any sort of supernatural or manipulative energy to change the will of others. If you are trying to get someone to like you by using runes, stop it. Now, that said, when it comes to using runes for romance and for love and for attraction, the only thing you should be doing is using that energy on yourself. Okay? If you're trying to get somebody else to like you, don't do it by trying to make them do anything different. What you need to do is you need to work on you, and you need to make you the focus of the attention. They can't even be a part of it. So, some of the things that I would probably do is I would probably figure out, and I'd have to do my research because I've never actually tried it with runes before, but I would probably find a couple of runes that are appropriate that I can draw with the intent of making myself not necessarily more attractive, but more open to the idea of being either romantic or allowing myself to be more attractive to the opposite sex or to whomever I happen to be wanting to attract at that point.
I haven't done it myself, but I do a lot of research and I learn how to do things before I actually have to do them, so I'm more prepared. So I know a little bit about this.
Okay.
And buying runes, again, help. Placement really isn't an issue where you place it, but I know some people are traditionalists and go for the heart because it's like the romance most of the thing.
Just to finish, and thank you for coming, Connor, and thanks for sharing with everybody. Just in closing, I'm going to state mine, and then I want you to give everybody your absolute favorite usage of runes for something that you've done, something you actually have done. One of the my absolute favorite things that I have ever done with the runes in usage is, and I'll put a tag on a little video at the end of the credits on this one. I used all of the runes and wrote out on my front door jamb around my front door. I wrote on one side I wrote welcome, and on the other side I wrote friends. It's written in English using runic characters, but the intent there was basically so that my friends and loved ones were more than welcome in my home, and everyone else should probably stop there. So I remember hearing something about your last cell phone. What was that about?
Well, my last cell phone, I was having a problem with service, so I actually with reception, So I actually carved Ansus into the face of the screen of my last cell phone.
Ansus is the communication rune for those of you, once again, keeping notes.
And it actually helped with the service. I didn't get any reception in school, like in the cafeteria. The day I went back to school with that on my phone, I had half full bars.
Is that your favorite usage?
That is not my favorite.
Okay,
usage.
so what is your favorite? Just to close out.
My favorite is when I was writing the poem. That poem.
The Descent of Odin. It's on the channel. Check it out.
I actually put Ansus on my right hand.
Okay.
So I could better express what I was thinking onto the page.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
See? You learn something new every day. Well, everybody, just like the last video, if you guys have any requests, questions, responses, anything at all, feel free to post to this video, the main channel page, or shoot me off a personal email. Thank you all for watching, and of course, until next time, Odin be with you.